Hello boys! Today we're gonna do the first video in a new series I'm doing where I'm gonna cover every expedition of the game and I'm gonna show you the tactics. In this one we are taking a look at the depths, a level 45 expedition. So let's go! You're gonna have to be level 45 and you're gonna have to have a party of 5 people. They all have to be level 45 and you're also gonna need a depth tuning orb. The depth tuning orb you actually craft or you can get one for free by just doing the main quest. Once you've done all that, you go to Restless Shore and the dungeon is actually at the north side of the map. Now you're probably asking, okay Mr. Nexx, but where is the loot? Do I even get any loot? The short answer is yes, while the long answer is actually on the screen. This is all the important loot you're gonna get in the dungeon, and of course you're also gonna get this particular legendary helmet, which is probably the first legendary you're gonna get until of course you're gonna reach level 60 and then you're gonna get a lot of legendaries, but they're all trash. Once you're there, make sure you take the quest from the little alligator. It's gonna require you to kill all the bosses and you just feed him the meat. It's gonna give you around 8k XP and you also get a box. Pretty good, pretty easy to do. I think you should definitely do it. Once you're done with that, the person with the tuning orb will have to actually go through the waterfall and open the gate for everybody else. You don't actually have to be there if you're not opening it with the tuning orb. You're gonna get a notification on top of your screen and you can just press F1 and you will teleport inside. Once inside, you will find out that the actual trash mobs are honestly not that different from the mobs that you find outside dungeons. And therefore you can just like AoE them down, all your friends just left click, it doesn't really take that much skill. You will however need a healer. Make sure that a healer is actually present in your party because otherwise you're gonna get spanked pretty hard. I'm not gonna go too deep into how to deal with trash because honestly it's really easy. Like I don't want to insult your intelligence, so let's move on to the first mini boss. I think it's supposed to be considered a boss, but I would call it a mini boss because it barely has any mechanics. Now this boss is Boar, whatever, big demon guy. He does a lot of front attacks. He has a little charge, as you can see. Other than that, he doesn't really do a whole lot. Literally all you have to do is just stay behind him and try to just left click him to death. He's gonna change aggro randomly and he's gonna throw a ball. You've probably seen it just now, and then he also does an AoE pull that kind of staggers everybody around, but after that, as you can see, he goes into a bit of a sleep state or damage down state, whatever. You just left click him a little bit more and then that's basically it. He just resumes attacking in front. Honestly, this one is a bit of a joke, so let's move on to the second boss and the one with actual mechanics. Now, as far as the first boss goes, you have Azamela. He's a guy that summons 2 dogs, and other than that, he does AoE damage to your group, but he still holds aggro on whoever does either the most damage or the guy that has a million gems inside his weapons. Every time you kill the dogs, they're gonna respawn. The guy is gonna just summon them again. Other than that, he only does a lot of AoE damage, but it's really not that much to actually put you in danger. Corruption potions actually work. If you actually buy a corruption potion, you will receive a lot less damage, but other than that, it's not that difficult of a fight. This is the first stage, of course. The second stage, however, it has to do with splitting the group. In the second phase, you're gonna see that he will start channeling and he's gonna become invulnerable. He's gonna throw an ability to the side of the room, pointing towards the pillars on the other side of the little gap, hole, whatever you wanna name it. That is where half of your group will have to go. There you will have to kill a few mobs and you will just have to press on the pillar that will glow up whenever you're done killing the mobs. The other half of the party will stay with the boss. The boss will remain invulnerable and he will start spawning the dogs again, but he will also start spawning mines. These mines you have to kill, otherwise both parts of the group are gonna take damage from the same mines. And therefore, in my opinion, the best way of doing this is getting the highest single target DPS to stay with the group and try to kill every single mine they can, so the other group can take care of the side nodes, I guess. As you progress the fight and the boss gets lower and lower, he's gonna summon more and more mines. This is gonna make it more difficult, but if you have strong DPS that's able to take out the mines, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. As you can see, you get around 4 mines, and it gets really difficult to actually do. In this example, we are pretty trash at the game, and we are obviously not actually killing them fast enough, but with proper single target DPS you should be fine.
Yeah, he's gone. 300 mastery and 2k XP.
Moving on to the final boss of the dungeon, the guy actually doesn't do a whole lot in the beginning. He will do single target attacks with his sword for a while and will just keep moving around the room. If you have a tank with a Carmelian gem that is able to taunt him, he can just do that and have the boss moving around while you stay at the back and just do DPS. Honestly, this part of the fight is really boring, and I hope Amazon does something about this, because it's honestly not that challenging. As you can see, we are literally just standing around him and just left clicking him to death while spamming abilities. He doesn't really do a whole lot, and maybe they should add something here, but for this you don't really have to worry that much about. Only person that will have to worry about is the person with the aggro. Make sure that the tank actually holds the aggro. Other than that, it's honestly a very straightforward part of the fight. Things are really gonna go from 0 to 100 when you are almost done with the boss. He's gonna regenerate to full HP and he's gonna summon 2 dogs. Well, they're not really dogs, they're like the demon that you fought initially. They have exactly the same mechanic as the first boss. They will roll out 2 balls, and that is gonna CC the hell out of you. And while they do that, the boss will also do a laser beam that will do a lot of damage to you. Make sure that in the beginning you avoid the laser beam by being at the back of the boss, and make sure that somebody is dealing with the little demons, because otherwise the things can really go out of control. In this little clip you can actually see how he summons the dogs, and the full party is actually going ham on the dogs, doing as much AoE and as much damage as quickly as possible, while our healer has the aggro from the boss. But because he's kiting and healing himself, he can tank it pretty easily, and we are basically just finishing off the ads very quickly, which means that we can go back to actually hitting the boss. And basically when he does the laser beam, if you know about it, you can do free DPS just like this without actually getting damaged by the laser beam. This is also gonna allow your healer to actually stabilize the party and do a lot of AoE healing on top of the boss. Essentially you want to kill the dogs as fast as possible in order to actually do as much damage as possible to the actual boss before he summons them again, and it all repeats itself. This is also the boss where you're actually gonna get the legendary helmet, if you are lucky, of course. I didn't get it so far, it is what it is. That's gonna be the end of the guide though. I thank you so much for actually watching this. If you want more of this in the future, all you have to do is subscribe, give it a like if you really like the content. Honestly, I love you. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.